What's going on, everybody? Kennybomb is in the building, and today we have no new Mortal Kombat 1 news, and it's probably going to be that way until February. But y'all want Mortal Kombat content, so I gotta give you Mortal Kombat content. Today, we're going to be talking about what went wrong with Mortal Kombat 1, because there's a lot of things being thrown around, and I think we gotta clear up some of these narratives. And the first thing I want to talk about is probably the biggest risk they took with this game, but was the reward worth it, and was it a good decision? The first thing I want to talk about today is cameos. Should they have been included in Mortal Kombat 1? Now, cameos, they're like an assist thing where these characters jump in and jump out during the gameplay. Not a full-blown tag team mode, but it's pretty much tag team. Now, the cameo system definitely had its benefits because there are a lot of classic fighters who miss Mortal Kombat 1's story, and the cameo system was their saving grace to get them on this Mortal Kombat roster. But let's say we didn't have the cameo system. They could have knocked off that development time for these 15 assist-based characters, and we probably could have got about 6 to 7 more fighters on the base roster. Which would be better? I don't know. I need y'all to tell me in the comment section. But let's talk about this cameo system as a whole. Mortal Kombat 1 is a 100% assist-based fighter. Now, I like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but that would never be my go-to fighting game. I like Tekken Tag Tournament, but I would never pick one of those games over the mainline games, especially Tekken 4. Mortal Kombat 9, they included this tag team mode, and they said it themselves. Nobody played it. So, putting an assist-based system in Mortal Kombat 1 and making it mandatory was an interesting decision. Now, don't get me wrong, I know Mortal Kombat's fighting style changes in every game, and I have absolutely no problem with that. They changed it again in Mortal Kombat 1. I love how Sub-Zero feels in this game and the way his combos flow, and you can see when people actually make these cameos work, NRS had a specific vision, and people can bring that vision to life. Well, some people. Mortal Kombat has a huge casual audience, that's a fact, and this cameo system is pretty advanced. So when casual players jump in, they could be intimidated by this cameo system and jump right out. That may be what we're seeing right now. So should the cameo system have been added to Mortal Kombat 1? You know what? I say yes, it should have been added, but should it have been forced on players when they know we don't like tag team based on their data from Mortal Kombat 9? I say absolutely not. The cameo system could have been a win if they gave us the single player mode as well, but I think they figured since people didn't try the tag team system in Mortal Kombat 9, it would have been the same with cameos in Mortal Kombat 1, and they put a lot of work into this thing, and they didn't want to waste that time. So they forced the cameos on us, and I think ultimately it's going to cost them in the long run. But chalk it up as a lesson learned, add that 1 versus 1 option, and let's take Mortal Kombat 1 to the next level. Now, before this game was even announced, the thing I was looking forward to most was the story. Because in Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, we saw the battle between Shang Tsung and Liu Kang, and we had no idea who won. Turns out both of them won. Yes. In some weird dimensional split, Liu Kang won in one universe, Shang Tsung won in the other universe. So we are back to traveling time, universes, and dimensions. Oh boy. I was so excited about the story in Mortal Kombat 1. And don't get me wrong, it was great. It was great. Up until the end. I don't think anybody was excited or thrilled when they revealed Shang Tsung to be Damashi. I remember I melted in my chair like, oh no. I mean, I thought it was going to be Onaga, but if it wasn't going to be Onaga, just don't make it Shang Tsung. And not only that, you brought back Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 11 looking like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 1. To make it even more confusing, you brought back Raiden from Mortal Kombat 11 looking like Raiden from Mortal Kombat 11, but everybody else was just the Mortal Kombat 1 characters. It was a mess. The ending sequence where you were running up the Armageddon Tower with Quan Ice, what was it, Sub Quan Chi? It was bad. It was bad. But I still love it, and I want more of it. So yes, Mortal Kombat story absolutely needs to stay like this going forward, and I can't wait for Mortal Kombat 1 Aftermath. Even though I'm not juiced and jazzed on the whole Titan thing, I hope they get rid of that and figure something else out. But yes, just give me more of it. Just give me more. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and this is something that we touched on earlier, and that is the roster. I hear people saying this is a boring roster, but this roster is near perfect. I mean, of course, you got Jade missing, you got Noob Saibot, Sonya, Jax, but you got most of the classic characters on this roster. I think with this, it's a case of damn if you do, damn if you don't. Everybody used to say Mortal Kombat 11 had a boring roster. Now we get another great roster with Mortal Kombat 1, and people are saying Mortal Kombat 11 had an exciting roster. No matter what they do or who they put in these games, unless it's Mortal Kombat Armageddon, people are going to complain. So is the roster of Mortal Kombat 1 good? I'll say the roster of Mortal Kombat 1 is great, and because they're expanding it over the next few years, this will be the best Mortal Kombat roster of all time, because I think everybody's going to be pretty much included. Let's get Collector back in here. And Ferrator. Now this next one might be the most controversial, but probably not, because I don't know what the hell happened here. And I'm talking about with Invasions. You look at what Netherrealm Studios, Midway, whatever you want to call them, look at what they did with Conquest and Mortal Kombat Deception, and you see the type of quality they're able to come up with when it comes to these single player modes. But somehow in Mortal Kombat 1, we got Invasions. Now, there are some rumors and conspiracy theories going around saying that Mortal Kombat 1 was actually supposed to be Injustice 3. I don't know if that can be proven, but I did see some pictures where people were pulling up like different things from Mortal Kombat 1 and finding Injustice DNA in there. So I don't know if this was a case of them just switching gears mid-cycle in development and they ran out of time and Invasions is the only thing they had time to come up with. But I think there is absolutely no way they sat down on day one and said, you know what? Let's do another single player mode, and this is what we're gonna do. And they mapped out Invasions to be exactly what it is right now. Don't get me wrong, it's a good concept. A single player mode that updates every 6 weeks to give you new content, great. But the content in Invasions right now is just not good. Now, they could fix Invasions, but as it is right now, just going in there, stepping on space to space to space, doing the same things, going through these fights with modifiers that aren't hard, they're just annoying, but they are easy to get past, it's just not fun. I don't know what happened with Invasions, but it must have just looked better on paper than it turned out in the game. If they took the time to build an amazing Conquest mode, you know what, even if it was on the same level as the Conquest mode we got in Mortal Kombat Deception, I could defend this game as the best Mortal Kombat game ever made. Even not having the one-on-one matches and being stuck with the cameos, I could still fight for it because, man, that Conquest mode was just before its time. So, should Invasions mode be in Mortal Kombat 1? I am sorry, but it absolutely should not. But when they update it every 6 weeks, I feel like I'm forced to play it, and I really just don't want to do it anymore. I really don't. And last, but most certainly not least, this is probably the most controversial thing in Mortal Kombat 1, but at the end of the day, I think this could also be the most beneficial thing to Mortal Kombat 1, and that is the premium store. Now, I know everything is overpriced, but when they built this store, they just went insane with the pricing. The premium store could actually be Mortal Kombat's saving grace because this is something that could keep the game fresh. Now, ideally, you would like to unlock skins and new stages and things like that in the game, but it's 2024. We don't get to unlock characters and costumes in-game anymore. That sounds crazy. We have to get these things by these 3 beautiful letters, DLC. But there's a way the premium store could have worked. If they made these skins $2, let's say $2 per skin, they might think that's cheap on their end, but if it's $2 per skin, a lot more people will buy them. WB, I believe they said, is like $95 billion in debt, and they're trying to milk us in this premium store to get that money. But if that wasn't the case, think about it. WB gave us some great Mortal Kombat games. Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11, they weren't like this. So if they were still in a good state and they had this premium store where they could release different costumes every week, I wouldn't mind buying them as long as they were at a reasonable price. $2 would be perfect, but you know what? $5 would also be fair because if they're releasing these weekly, they gotta pay people to make them, y'all, so they're not gonna be free. So is the premium store a win or a loss? You know what? Right now, in the state that it's in, for one, because they don't update it, I'm gonna say it's a loss, but it could be a big win because this is something that could keep this game really fresh. But that's it. If these things were different, I think Mortal Kombat 1 would be perfect. Now, I weave some gameplay in and out of here, and I don't like to do that because everybody else does it. But if this is something y'all prefer, let me know in the comment section and I'll make my videos look like everybody else's. But thank y'all for tuning in either way. Don't forget to drop a like on this if you haven't. Smash that subscribe button because we got a lot more Mortal Kombat 1 content coming in the future. Bomb Squad, let's get to that.